Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So tonight you're just going to see a compilation of alien videos. So these are going to be the ones from my channel that I feel show the best evidence for alien beings or alien life out there. Some of this stuff is skeptical, but you form your own opinion from them. I'm not on there to convince you guys of what is real and what's not. I just kind of present the evidence to you and give you my opinion on it. Some of the stuff I do believe is real, like this Skinny Bob video, and then a couple other things. But you make your determination and let me know in the comments what you think. But this is about 20 minutes long of several videos that I went ahead and put together. So grab some popcorn, sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right guys, welcome back to the channel. So before we jump into these top 5, I do want to show this one video here. Now this was recorded, I believe it was in the early 2000s, and it was recorded by Bill Paxton. So he put this video out, and I thought this was pretty interesting. It's kind of skeptical that he had his camera at the right place at the right time to record this alien being looking in his window. And here it is kind of slowed down. You guys see this here? And it kind of peeps up, blinks its eyes, and it walks away. Now this alien does remind me of the one that Boyd Bushman put out. Now Boyd Bushman's alien was a lot smaller than this one. He was about maybe the size of your arm or something. So they do resemble one another. So it could be true, but I know this thing has been debunked as being a puppet or something. And then why would one just look in the window like that, blink off, and then run off? But put down in the comments what you guys think about that. I thought that was pretty interesting before we jump into these top 5 alien beings that people have recorded or maybe had interviews with. So let's go ahead and let's get to number 5. Now this one right here was put out, I think it was around 2008 or 9. Put down in the comments if you guys can correct me on that. But someone was interviewing an alien being from the future, and in this video this particular alien being is talking about they were advanced race and they were coming back to talk to the humankind and warn them. And as they're talking to this creature, they do a couple things to it as they torture it and all that. Pretty interesting that this does look like the gray that we always see and all that, but it doesn't have any clothes on, but there's no background or anything to it. But I thought this was interesting to show to you guys. And if you could find the original interview, it's pretty intriguing to watch and listen to it talk. Now, number 4, you guys should pretty much be familiar with. This is the Alien Autopsy. I believe this came out in 1995, and it was hosted by Jonathan from Star Trek. And it caused a lot of controversy when it was put out. I believe this creature had 6 fingers and 6 toes on it. But they go through a whole, I think it was about a 30-minute video where they were doing an autopsy on an alien being. And it was controversial, and it still is today. Some people just said it was a reenactment of what actually happened at that time. Some people said it was real, but it's still to this day even being debated on, just because of, I guess, the way it was being filmed. People looking at the phone in the background, the materials around it, people looking around and stuff. So it was really skeptical, but it was making my top 5. But also what makes this top 5 is in that video, they showed evidence of a crashed, or pieces from a crashed UFO, and that's what you're seeing here. Now, how real or authentic this is, I don't know, but they do show some writing and stuff on the side of it. It looks more or less like a piece of metal or something, but they do show this in the original video. If you can find it, I do have it archived, but if you can find it, you can see, and they're talking about this, the material from it, and what it was made of. Now, this third one is probably one of my favorite. This is the introduction to Skinny Bob, or as he was labeled as Skinny Bob. It shows an alien craft that you guys see there that was filmed by the Russian KGB. And then it shows these Skinny Bobs, gray aliens or Ebians, walking around. It shows 3 of them. And then this third one kind of walks up to the camera as they see him. They weren't supposed to be filming it. And that's kind of when the camera shuts off. Then they got one of them in the room and they were filming. Now, some people were saying this was a puppet and all that. I still believe this is real authentic footage, in my opinion, just on the way it moves. We don't know how these creatures move and how they operate, but some people are saying it operated like a puppet or something. But there was also some stuff from Jonathan Gear's conference where he talked about some of these were actually robotic. So we don't know if this is one of them or not. But I thought this was interesting to show to you guys, as this definitely is one of the top 3. It probably should have made top 2 in my opinion. But it did open the door for Skinny Bob and what possible alien can look like. Now, number 2 comes from somebody I remember seeing this, Dorothy, back in the 90s from a show called Sightings. And according to her, she was able to make contact with a lot of these alien beings. And she's got video footage. Now, the video footage I'm going to show you was shot in the 90s and it's pretty blurry, but there was a whole episode on it. She had pictures, she had photos, and she had video footage, what you're seeing here. So back then, this was pretty amazing. Even today, it's pretty amazing too. And she gives her testimony. She kind of disappeared, but you'll see in just a second some of this footage and stuff that she showed of these alien beings. And I thought this was interesting to show to you guys as well. And there's some of the footage of the alien beings. It looks like it's about 3, maybe 4 in this ship that were staring at her. And I slowed it down just so you guys could see it, because it was so quick. And this was a close-up of one of the crafts that she saw. So put down in the comments what you guys think about this. And of course, on to number 1. And you guys know, if you're familiar with it, the number 1 is going to be the Turkish video. This is still being debated even to this day, but it shows a triangular, as they said, boomerang-shaped craft with alien beings looking down at it. Now, you guys know I did a video a couple days ago about someone seeing one of these crafts over their house. It looked like a Mexican head, as she said, but there were 2 beings inside of it, probably tall whites, as she described, and they were looking down at her. But this one right here shows the craft there, and I believe this was shot over about a 1.5 period of time. And what made this so more amazing is that you could see the shape of the craft, and then you could see the alien beings inside. If you look at it really close and you zoom in, and there's been tons of videos trying to break this down. Some people said it was a ship on the shore, etc., etc., but there's been no one to really come forth and try to, if it's fake, go ahead and redo it, in my opinion. You know, if it's not true or something, somebody fabricated it, just go ahead and redo it, because we have technology today to do it. And at the time, there wasn't really popular with CGI or anything. So this is why this is making my number 1 to this list. Now, there's probably other ones out there that you guys may have seen, but this is probably the one of the more fascinating ones. And there's tons more footage on this, but you're just seeing some snippets of it. I don't see how someone can say that this was a ship out at sea and they zoomed in and saw, of course, the sailors or whatever on the ship. I think that was just impossible. But put down in the comments what you guys think about this. I think those are some of the top 5 out here on the internet right now. Now, there is going to be one more. It's going to be this one, which you see here. This one was apparently taken at Roswell. I didn't want to put this in there, but I guess it'd be an honorable mention that they were interviewing an alien. All of a sudden, he started having a stroke and it stroked out. But I wanted to also show this to you guys. So it's 7 in total, but the top 5 is what you guys saw there. All right, y'all, this is getting pretty interesting. It's actually going all over the internet. It says Miami Mall creature videos go viral. I actually have an image. So I'm going to leave a link down here to newsweek.com talking about, they did a quick article on it. But I actually have what could possibly be an image from this particular incident. This article doesn't really just say too much. I was actually hoping that they would show what they do right here, that circle right there in the top right corner, and I have a close-up picture that I'm going to show that to you guys. Try to go back here. I'm trying to record this screen and show this to you guys. Let me zoom in on this real quick. Don't know how much bigger I can get it, but it's going to be that circle right there. That's what I actually have an image of, and I'm going to show this to you guys. I ain't going to beat around the bush, but apparently somebody high up caught this video footage, and they're actually spotting what they think may be, I don't know if we call this an alien. We're just going to call it a creature or a non-human intelligence. There we go. But anyway, let me show you guys this image real quick. All right, y'all. So here is the image of it. Pretty interesting. It's got some pretty big feet, long arms, and looks like it could apparently be some ears or something on there. I don't know. We don't know what to say about this. It doesn't have any clothes on. I'm always skeptical of pictures of aliens with no clothes on, but if we zoom in, we kind of see this thing walking here. His arms look like they're kind of curved like a claw there, and we'll zoom in and look at other parts of him too. But it's pretty interesting with this. You guys can see maybe his legs are bent. Now, I've heard stuff about particular aliens with their legs actually being bent backwards and them walking funny, and people made fun of them back in the 40s or 50s, and they didn't like that. I kind of chuckled because they walk funny. You guys can see his head there, but you see no eyes or anything. Maybe his eyes are closed. I don't know what to make of this. I really don't. That's why I'm putting this out, and I rely heavily on you guys too for your comments. I do read all the comments. You guys don't think I do, but so I don't know. I mean, we're going to compare this to a couple of things here. This is the original photo, but you see everything else around is kind of in color, but he's in black and white. So we got to be kind of suspect of this in a way just because of that. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. But I don't want to draw conclusions and saying, hey, they captured an alien being and here it is. But if you look at this closely and you compare it to what they saw in Peru and stuff, it's a lot different than what we're typically seeing of an alien being. Whether they're spiritual beings, luminous beings, whatever it may be, it does look a lot different than that. And then if we start comparing it to what we know of as the Eben or Skinny Bob, he looks completely different. You guys see all the comparisons there. And then we have other images too of what can be considered one of the gray aliens, which we see this here. And this is the one that Boy Bushman took. It's too small to be this one right here. So I'm leaning more towards a reptilian type, possibly alien creature. We know they are bigger and taller than humans. They're usually 8 to 12 feet tall. And then we can't rule out our boy Bigfoot. I can't rule this out. I just had to put this in here. It's not so much of a joke thing, but we've only got one probably valid video of Bigfoot. That's what you guys see. I know some people are skeptical of it. But, I mean, you look at this thing, you look at the way the Bigfoot walks, the way his arms curl back, it could be something similar. I don't know. But you guys put down in the comments what you think about this. I don't know what to say, what to think about this. Like I said, I do rely heavily on you guys' information. You guys pointing this out. Someone did point this out a couple of days ago about what happened in Miami, and I didn't know what to say. But anyway, put your comments down below, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and then stay tuned for the next video. If I get more information, I'll definitely let you guys know. Appreciate you guys watching. In April of 2011, a user by the name of Eben started a YouTube channel, and he uploaded what he said to believe some KGB document files of alleged UFOs. In those video clips, he actually has video clips of UFOs flying around, or at least a UFO flying around, which you see there. He has this same craft flying over a city. And then other videos he uploaded was this UFO either crashing or actually landing, but it actually shows alien bodies. Other video clips include an autopsy. And then we get to the Skinny Bob video. This is kind of what got everybody talking about this. In the Skinny Bob video, it shows what is considered the modern gray or Eben alien, and it shows kind of a close-up of him. And then he has actual video footage of these particular beings walking around. Now with this video, I'm going to show you guys a site that actually talks about this and actually breaks it down pretty good. So there's going to be a link below in the description, but I'm going to go through a couple of things on the site because it's actually very important. I personally believe in the Skinny Bob video. I don't know about the rest of the information. They say if I believe in half of it but not the other half, it's a complete lie. But I want to at least show this to you guys and get your opinion on it. So give me just a second. I'm going to get this site loaded up and I'm going to show this to you. So in this website, as you guys see here, it says we present a detailed analysis of alleged UFO and alien footage. This time it's not about lights or lights in the sky or blah, blah, blah. They just go on to talk about that. But they're actually going in on this site and looking at just about every detail of that video and then talking about particular things with it. So for instance, it says here, you know, the status, the answer to the big question if we are investigating something authentic or elaborate hoax is still unknown. So that's a good thing that they're pointing out that it's still unknown, because it actually really is. It's been kind of hard to debunk, because I know there's several YouTube channels trying to debunk this and this and that, but this website actually sums up some of this information that they put out there about it. So that video, according to this, has been out for 12 years, 177 days, 22 hours, and 27 minutes. Now, a lot of this information in here is coming from Reddit, when Reddit users saw it and they were trying to go in, and some saying it was authentic, some didn't. But you guys see there, this is a lot of this information is coming from, you know, the community post Skinny Bob on Reddit. So you guys can always check that out. And there's links into here too as well. But if you guys are not familiar with this, the video, as it says here, and they're pretty accurate with this, was uploaded to the YouTube channel named Eben 10135 in 2011, which is 12 years ago as of today. And you guys saw that timestamp earlier. It says here the channel was created the same day the first video was uploaded, on the 13th of April. According to the channel description, the creator is from Russia and was born in 1969. Let's say if you guys haven't seen it, you saw some of those video clips at the very beginning. I'll try to put a link down below in the description, because I have a couple of things on my channel where you can see the entire video. So you'll see that. I'll probably have a pop-up too where you can see that as well. But this site goes into breaking down that video. And for those of you guys who actually like to look at information and stuff, you can see it. And I'm not sure if you can actually contact these people to kind of give your 2 cents into it. But they talk about several things. Like, for instance, you guys see this image here. It's actually a photo, or it's actually a video of what appears to be a disc-shaped craft flying over a house. And then later down in the website, I'll show you a couple things. They go to talk about some computer graphics and how this actually could have been replicated, and then kind of the screen, I guess, overlay they used to kind of get that old film effect for it. Now, why in the original video he had a film strip playing in the background, because that did kind of take away from the video, in my opinion, being authentic, I don't know. But they talk about that also in here. If you scroll down, they talk about other things as far as the second video, which is apparently a gray extraterrestrial, Zeta Rector UFO leaked footage. And then this is where you actually see where the actual Bob character is kind of sitting there blinking and looking around and stuff. You can't see inside his eyes. Some people have tried to analyze this, and some people have said that a puppet can't do this, especially if they created one in the 40s. We know that. But even if this was created in 2011 and someone used a puppet, it'd be kind of hard to create it. But I've always said they move kind of weird, and we don't know how these creatures, if they are real, how they'll move. And then we also don't know if they're actually androids, because Dr. Stephen Greer did a disclosure earlier this year. I think it was June 2023. And he talked about a particular person seeing one of these beings, and he actually walked up to it and kicked it over, which I thought was pretty interesting. And when he kicked it open, it had like circuits in it. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Guys, before we actually continue on, I actually want you guys to hear this. This is actually from his disclosure project.
And when he tried to leave that command, where there was a fake, what's called a programmed life form alien, these have been used in what you hear in the fabled lore of abductions and stuff in the UFO lore. This is actually a man-made creature, but it's not living per se. It has a covering the skin like. It tried to take him with one of these ARVs in command, and some people camouflaged in the ground near his truck. After he got out of this command, he was disgusted with what was happening. He no longer wanted to be part of that project, but they weren't happy he left. I told him, it's a miracle that you lived to tell this tale. And so what happened is that his pickup truck went into sort of complete lock, motor died because of this man-made UFO, UAP. He opened the door because he saw this creature, which he thought was an alien. It's not. And he hit it, it fell, he kicked it, and it split open this outer, and he saw the integrated circuits and fiber optics and what have you. This man I've dealt with quite a bit. He was ready to come to the aero skiff. He had a nasty encounter with people who threatened him directly. This is recent. And so we have not been able to bring him to the Aero Pentagon briefing.
But anyway, they go in to try to break that down, and then he talks about some other videos that he loaded there. I'm not going to try to go through this whole entire site. I would like to go live at some point in time. I'm getting some live software set up to actually go over the site. This is probably going to be the first thing I go over, but I did want to at least give this to you guys so you can take a look at it and maybe come up with some questions or put them down in the comments below. Then he goes into, of course, there are several videos listed or uploaded, and this is going to be the fourth video. And then he talks about the video track starts with text paragraphs about historic events, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes in to talk about how that was actually being broke down. And then later down in the website, he's talking about some of the visual effects. And it says here, the very first video I have uploaded starts with an image showing the insignia of the KGB, the main security agent of the Soviet Union. You know, above and below are black bars simulating censored, blah, 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 et cetera, which I didn't pay too much attention to that. It says, it turns out this still image was taken from a documentary. So that debunks that right there, that was taken from that, released in 1998. It featured a crashed UFO and autopsy of an alien body. I would click on that, but I think if I click on that, it may completely take me off of here. But let's see real quick. Let's see if we can do this. The secret KGB UFO file. So there it is right there. So he's saying this is taken from that particular movie, which kind of discredits that person if that happened with that. You see here, as a byproduct of aligning the 3D model with the video, we can get an estimate of the path that the camera traveled and thus a rough shape of the street or railroad track. So he's actually, like I said, going in and breaking this stuff down, which I'm glad somebody did, instead of just a video on YouTube and people saying I'm an expert, this is fake, and that. So like I said, I'll put a link below in the description. I'm trying to find one other item on here before I end this, but I think I'm probably going to go live on this. I think it'd be good to go live and discuss this site with you guys and go through a couple of things on here so that we can look at this. And there was one other piece of this right here. This is of course, the piece where the UFO was flying, and then he tried to do some stabilization on it there. And then there's kind of still captures of it and stuff. There was one on here I believe I saw where he had, 3D imagery. He talks about a lot, but guys, if you can, go over here and check this site out. I think this is actually pretty interesting, and this is something that people may want to look at and look at what they say. Like I said, I haven't had a lot of time to look at this, but I was checking it out, and I was going to just send it over to you guys. Like, this is part of one of the survivor aliens right there, and that just doesn't look too real to me. The first impression of the alien being suffers from a bad lighting conditions, which it is, and they identify the elements in the background as hard due to the bad imagery, of course, so they did make that kind of difficult to see. But he goes in and he tries to break some of this stuff down. And here's one of the aliens kind of laying on the ground. I probably shouldn't be laughing if it's real, but it just doesn't seem too authentic, and that's apparently the UFO that they were in that crashed. But that doesn't seem to be too likely to me to be true, because it's kind of sitting up there. It looked like his eyes were open. And scroll down here a little bit more with a couple of things with this. So he does a good breakdown, guys. So I probably am going to go live with this and try to show this to you guys. He even talks about the skinny bob and the structure of his body and things and that such. And I actually didn't know this website had this much detailed information in it. So I'm not going to drag this out. Go ahead and put your comments down below, and I think I'm going to go live on this within a couple of days. I'll let you guys know. I'll probably put in the community post, and then we'll try to go live from there. So as always, guys, put your comments down below what you think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. I appreciate you guys watching. All right, guys, welcome back. So I'm here to give you an update. There was a recent interview with Angel Kenmore, I believe his name is, who was the one that reported seeing aliens in his backyard. Now, this happened last year, 2023, at the time of this video. I think it was like April 30th, 2023. And what you're seeing here is video from his encounter. And there's been tons of breakdowns. And I about went blind trying to look through this and trying to see some of the stuff that he saw. But what I want you guys to hear is what I'm going to play in just a minute, some of his updated information and testimony from this actual experience that he encountered. Now, if nothing ever happened here, they wouldn't have put up cameras and stuff, because later there was a camera put up at his house, and then there was people coming around harassing the poor kid and his family, and then they kind of let them alone, and then it just kind of subsided away. But he has recently got back out and did an interview, couple of minutes. He's got some stuff on News Nation and stuff as well. You guys can go over there and check out. But I went blind trying to see all the stuff that other YouTubers and content creators are putting out about this. They said that they did see aliens in the tractor trailers and stuff. But when you guys hear what he's recently talking about, he didn't talk about a lot of this stuff when he first encountered this. Maybe he was nervous, maybe he forgot. But some of the stuff he's going to say in just a second is making it just somewhat suspect. I'm not going to say I don't believe him, and I'm not going to say I do believe him. I'm just kind of 50-50. So let me let this play for a minute. It's very short, but he's going to talk about a few things, and I'll be back in just a minute.
Start again, I guess. We were in the backyard fixing a truck, and then out of nowhere we just see a big light fall down and basically crash in the backyard. And moments after, like a couple of seconds after, I saw the big giant creature in front of me. The alien, whatever you guys want to call it. The alien demon, whatever you guys want to call it.
So this right here is some of the breakdowns of other YouTubers saying this is one of the aliens sitting in the tractor trailer. It's kind of hard to see. It was interesting to say the least, but he's got one or two more things when he actually saw this alien, non-human entity is what we're gonna call this.
But I'm thinking it's like something bad, you know, not a good thing. He was breathing like he was like pissed off, like he wanted to do something.
And he was looking at you and your brother?
He was looking at me, yeah.
Did he say anything?
I remember he was growling like a dog, like he was growling. I closed my eyes, I guess. I don't know. I think I was praying or something like that, and they just let me go. That's when I went inside, and I saw my dad. I mean, I saw it too.
It felt like it had a control of your body?
Oh yeah, I couldn't move. Yeah.
Now, I hate to interject here, and this is actual drawing that they had. If I recall, when he first talked about this, he did not mention seeing this thing and it growling at him. And he also didn't mention the paralysis thing either. So you guys put in the comments if he actually said it. I looked at a couple of videos, I couldn't find it, but he never talked about any paralysis. He never talked about the alien being growling or anything at him. So that's what makes it for me a little bit more suspect. I don't know what to think on this one, but I know he's done an update on it. He really doesn't care what anybody else thinks on it, but it's kind of just hard to 100% believe his story just based on this new information from him. I wish he would probably do more stuff and more interviews and all that and talk a little bit more about it. And you guys will hear in just a minute, he's talking about he's making any money off of it. He would have did more with it, which is fine. And it's coming directly from him, which is good. But like I said, I don't recall him talking about the growling effects and the paralysis and all that. And he was the only one that was kind of paralyzed for a minute, was his uncle and stuff there. And based on the video we saw when they took it, they kind of went back there and saw this thing and then they walked away. I mean, you don't see anything that he's talking about as far as the growling, the paralysis or anything like that. You see him kind of go back there and they walk away in the video. And you can find that video. It's everywhere on the internet now. But let me go ahead. I'm gonna let him finish this up and I'll be right back in just a second.
They can believe whatever they want, I'm not doing it for fame. If I did it for fame, I would be on YouTube and stuff like that, doing more videos, but I don't care, guys. I just went on TikTok and YouTube, made my story. That's pretty much it. I made no money off this. I want people to know that. I made no money off this. I don't need money. That's pretty much it. They can believe whatever they want.
All right, so there you guys have it there, and I'm very interested in hearing your comments on this, because this is kind of a follow-up video. It's been about a year or so, a little bit less, a couple of days, give or take, that this information came out. It was April 30th of last year, and this is actual footage from what transpired that night. And I don't see any signs of paralysis. I don't see, and I don't hear any growling or anything like that coming from what they're saying, these non-human entities, aliens, demons, whatever he's trying to define them as here. And that's just what makes it harder for me to believe this. But you guys put down in the comments, because you might have found something else that I haven't, or know something I don't know. But it's always interesting seeing you guys' comments on this. And if I get more information, of course, I will let you guys know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and stay tuned for the next video. I got another one coming tonight that's gonna be pretty interesting. See you guys tonight.
Basically, we're a product of genetic engineering from someone.
Yeah. Yeah, how can you just swallow that whole?
Well, I can just swallow any of this stuff.
Well, it's easy to swallow things you can put your hands on to touch and work with. That's no problem. But when you get into a lot of spiritual stuff and religion, and you were brought here, and we were made by progressive corrections and evolution and that sort of thing, and where it shoots down a lot of the established religions, Catholicism, and everything. It said, essentially it's a tough thing to accept, and why, without hardcore proof, why even bring it up?
I guess the question more should deal with that you actually read a report that said this stuff.
Well, yeah, the only hardcore thing is that there is a extremely classified document dealing with religion, and it's about that thick. Period. But why would there be any classified material dealing with religion? That's the only thing I can say.
What other kinds of classified?
Autopsy. Autopsy. No, that wasn't the last subject.
I want to go back to the religion thing. I want you to say it.
Oh, come on, that's so weird. That's a lie.
I'm not asking you to say what you believe to be a fact. I'm asking you to say what you read in a report that is distributed at what may be the most top secret facility in the world. Okay.
All right, I'll say it. It's so far out.
All right, your objection has been noted.
Okay.
What does it say?
That we're containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers.
Containers of?
Containers. Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want, but we're containers, and that's how we're mentioned in the documents. That religion was specifically created, so we have some rules and regulations for the sole purpose of not damaging the containers.
The souls? Meaning?
Well, the souls or the bodies, whatever.
That's meaning like we're containers for souls that they're going to use at some other point.
Right.